Welcome back to Filmonomics at Slated. I'm Steph Paterno, and as I hinted at last week, I am taking you in this segment on a trip that I recently completed halfway around the world to South Korea. I was attending the Busan International Film Festival. I was invited by the Korean Film Council to talk about the future of the film industry and film financing, which was an amazing experience. I got to tour around and see the incredible architecture. It's a very modern city with huge infrastructure, and Busan itself is actually in some ways like Los Angeles in that it's by the beach. It's the second largest city in Korea, and they have a very active film community. In fact, this International Film Festival is considered the Cannes Film Festival of Asia. It's certainly the gateway to the Asian market. If you want to go do business in China, go through Korea. And that's also where all the Chinese come and do their shopping, and certainly where major Chinese studios and Chinese distributors come to discover films that they'd like to have in their market. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you a segment from all the filmmakers that I got to meet with, and there's an incredible diversity of them. But let's go hear what they had to say first.
I mean, we have great filmmakers, you know, out of Korea, like Bong Joon-ho, Park Chan-wook. Their Korean films are still Korean language films, which have limited audience around the world. Now, Bong Joon-ho did Snowpiercer, which is an amazing film, but still, for some reason, that film had a really limited, release in the United States. I'm trying to do a film that has the best of Korea and the best of American indie, and to convince investors, that is the hard part, you know, because they haven't. Because what I'm trying to do is something that hasn't been done before. So because of that, they're always afraid. They want the safe, the safe ways. Yeah.
No, but what you have is you have a lot of people who are risk averse, who are worried. You know, if they're putting money into your film, they want to see that money back. If they're going to distribute it, they want to know that or believe that people are going to go and watch it. So that makes, I think, the whole industry risk averse, which means that when people have input into your film, that they're sometimes kind of taking the edges off it, because it doesn't quite fit into the idea of what they think a successful film is, or is going to be.
The difficult between a director and a writer, and sometimes if a Korean writer writes an interesting story, but maybe it's interesting for Korean people, but sometimes it's not interesting to Chinese audience. So I think it's the most difficult thing, how to write a story suitable to Chinese audience. And the other thing is communicating.
The toughest part for me is not to make the film, to take the film to the audience. This is the toughest part.
Is that distribution?
Yeah.
Distribution.
Yeah. Distribution, marketing. This is the toughest part.
My field is audiences and distribution. So the thing for me is always about trying to get the film out to the widest possible audience. And so the challenge for me is often that the package hasn't been developed for the audience at an early enough stage. So often we get films coming to us where the filmmaker hasn't thought about their audience, haven't thought about who the market is, haven't understand what the distribution process is, haven't started to engage with their community. So that's a frustration, and that's an opportunity as well.
Well, as you heard, there's an incredible diversity of cultures. There's a lot of different countries represented. And it's interesting seeing what each of the filmmakers are dealing with in their territories, what they're looking for, the communication barriers that exist in trying to adapt a film to work not only in their local market, but also internationally. And the challenges that poses trying to get distributors on, the right distributors. But it's also interesting hearing the commonality that all filmmakers have and the same friction points they all experience. Anyway, there's another segment on Busan next week where we'll be talking to a couple of the filmmakers that had films from Slated at the festival in competition. I got to see one of the films, but I'll tell you more about that next week. So again, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking over here. Over and out.